everybody, it's Becky. Welcome back to my channel. I have another homeschooling video for you guys today. So if you like homeschooling videos, give this video a thumbs up. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some homeschool must-haves that you need to have in your life if you homeschool. I tried to focus on just those things that make the most difference in how easy it is to homeschool, and also that make a difference in how fun it is to homeschool and keep your sanity in the process. So hopefully you guys will find this video enjoyable and helpful. The first thing that I really think is fun for me as a homeschooling mom and a pen hoarder is to have a really good set of pens that you can use as the teacher to write whatever you want to write, whether it's to-do lists or lesson planning in different colors or a color for each kid. Whether you journal and you want to have a pretty pen to do that with, you can use it for grading. I just think there are so many reasons to have a good set of pens that you use in your homeschool. Now, if you want to be nice and share them, that's great because kids like to color with pens and everything too. But I actually collected pens growing up, and I still have some of those really funny, like rare pens that I had as a kid. And so I really enjoy a good set of pens. This pen set actually came from Amazon. It's a set of 30 bright color gel pens. Now, I had some pens like this when I was in high school, and I remember like I would change colors between every answer. Like I'd write the question in one color and I'd write the answer in another color. So to have a set like this with so many colors that I can use in our school life, I can use in my personal life just for planning and making my to-do list every night, I think it's really fun to have. The girls really enjoy pens like this because for them, it makes their schoolwork more fun when they have a fun pen to write with. We have really enjoyed having this set. I went ahead and put everything back in so you can see kind of how it comes all packaged. They are non-toxic and acid-free, so you can use them for if you're like a person that likes to do Bible journaling or you're like a professional doodler and you like to keep your notebooks. These are really nice because they are not going to damage your paper. These are really smooth and they're perfect for arts and crafts, they're perfect for invitations, they're perfect for taking notes. So for a pen addict like me and a pen hoarder like me, it really does make all the difference in the world to use a pretty bright, colorful pen in our homeschool life and in my personal life. So the next homeschooling must-have that I would recommend for you guys is to have at least one subject for your kids that you really don't have to have a whole lot to do with. I know that sounds terrible, but I just mean basically something that is either an online program or a disc version of a program that really teaches your child the lesson and does all the work for you. So for example, both of my girls now are using teaching textbooks for math. It's what my oldest daughter has always used, and it's really what the ultimate goal was to get my youngest daughter in so that I did not have to teach math anymore. Because I'm terrible at math, it's something I struggle with personally, and so I really didn't feel confident enough to teach it to my kids. And so now that we have started my second grader on teaching textbooks this school year, it's working out perfectly because it teaches her the lesson. It does all the grading for me. If she misses one, she can go back and watch how to do it the correct way. And it's working out great. I love it, and it has opened up so much more time in our schedule. It's just one less subject that I'm having to teach, but it really does make a difference, especially if you have a subject that maybe you're not confident in teaching, or if you have more than one child and you find it really time consuming to do each subject with each child every single day. It does really save you a huge amount of time, and it's a big load off your shoulders. And I can't tell you how much difference just that one change has made in our school year this year. It's made a huge difference. Consider finding a curriculum that your child can do completely online or with a disc, like teaching textbooks, so that you don't have to teach even just that one subject. It really does make a difference. Another option for you might be a curriculum that's got an audiobook version. A lot of curriculum companies have audio versions of their textbooks where it will read it to your child. So maybe you have a child who's not an independent reader and they're not good enough at reading to read a history textbook or a science textbook. The audio version will read it to them. Or maybe you have, you're doing a certain subject as a group, and instead of you having to take the time to read the textbook aloud to your students, maybe you can use the audiobook to have it read it to them while you're doing something else like grading papers or lesson planning or working with a smaller child or something like that. So those two things are great options to really save you time and make it a lot less stressful. So highly recommend at least one subject that you really don't have to do anything with. My next homeschooling must-have is an easy way to keep track of grades, attendance, and a transcript. I did a video recently on my channel about this, and I thought I wanted to mention it again because it is such a groundbreaking thing for me. I found a free homeschooling program that a mom has created for her homeschoolers, and she shared it on the internet, and I just happened to find it. But basically, it is a free download that you can get from her website that you can use on your computer to keep grades for all of your kids. It will keep attendance, it keeps track of the books that they read, the field trips that you've taken, the curriculum that you're using, and it also generates a report card and transcripts. That is a huge thing. I will have a link for that video in the description box below in case you're interested in that, because it has made a huge difference for me, because I do have an 8th grader who's going to be going into high school next year, and I wanted to start keeping grades. I wanted to start getting an idea of how to keep a transcript. It has made my job as a homeschooling mom so much easier, because it's just a one-stop shop to keep all of the homeschooling records I need to keep in one place, and it was free. So I'll link that video for you guys in the description box below, but it does make things much, much easier. Another homeschooling must-have, and I've talked about this book before, but for me, this is really homeschooling in a book. It is Home Learning Year by Year, How to Design Homeschool Curriculum from Preschool through High School. I used to check this book out from the library right before every school year, but I figured I'm going to need this for a long time, so I went ahead and purchased mine from Amazon. I've had it for a few years now, and basically, this book walks you through your child's entire school career, year by year, telling you what your child, and I say should, be learning, but it basically compares it to the standards of the state and the country, what a kid in 1st grade would learn, what a kid in 2nd grade would learn. Obviously, you don't have to follow it to the letter, and I don't, but I do use this as a framework to know are my kids sort of on pace with other kids their age. Maybe give me some suggestions for things that I hadn't thought of to teach my kids. It also has book suggestions and all different types of great information for you if you're a homeschooler, even if you're a new homeschooler, if you're in the middle of homeschooling. It's still a great book to have, because it does tell you year by year some ideas of what your child should be learning based on what other kids in those grades are learning. So again, I don't follow it 100%, but it does really guide me when I'm planning for my girls' school year. I love having this book, and I highly recommend purchasing this. My last homeschooling must-have, and I've touched on this in other homeschooling videos as well, is really flexibility and patience. Obviously, those are not things you can go to Walmart and pick up. I wish they were, because I would buy it in bulk. Because some days I'm super patient and I'm just kind of really good at rolling with the punches, and other days I'm really stressed out. But I think one thing I've learned through homeschooling, even just the short amount of time we've done it, I think this is our 4th year. Yeah, it's our 4th year with my oldest daughter. I really have learned to be flexible, and I really have learned to set up systems in our homeschooling that allow me to be flexible. I'm very high-strung, I'm a little bit controlling, and I like to micromanage everything. So for somebody like me, I like to have everything planned out, but when I was planning too much, I was getting stressed out because I felt like we were falling behind. So I figured out how to plan that was a really low-key, no stress way to plan. I actually have a video on that. I will link it below. But I think it's really important to keep in mind that every day is going to be different in your homeschooling. You can have all the best intentions, you can have all the lesson plans planned out in the world, but if you let one little thing or one tantrum or one whatever really derail your entire day, then you're going to find that more often than not, every day is going to be stressful and chaotic, and you're always going to feel behind and like you're always having to catch up. So you really have to give yourself grace. You really have to be forgiving of yourself and forgiving of your kids, and you really have to be flexible. The same thing is just equally important, if not more important, is to be flexible with your curriculum. I know as a homeschooler, you're probably going to get something that you think is going to be incredible, and it's going to end up not working out for you or your kids or both, and you're going to be really frustrated. You're not going to know what to do. Do you have to start over? I spent all this money. What do I do now? And I think you really have to let go of that, because you are going to buy something that's not going to work. You might buy something that I recommend because it works for us, and it might not work for you. Or you might read about a curriculum that you think sounds great for your family that you read on a blog, and you go get it and it's horrible and you hate it. That's probably going to happen to you at least once. You really have to not be afraid to stop what you're doing if it's not working and start something else. We are not very many weeks into our new homeschooling year, and I have already changed 2 subjects for my oldest daughter. 2 things already. Even if it's something you've used in the past, it may not work again every single year. So you have to be willing to change things up if they're not working. You have to be willing to move your schedule around if it's not working out for you or your kids. You really have to be able to do that and be okay with doing that, because if you try to be so regimented about every single thing, anytime something happens that's not planned, you're going to be stressed out and just overly upset and frustrated about it. So try really hard to set up systems in your homeschooling and in your schedule that allow flexibility, that allow for change, that allow for those little bumps in the road that are going to happen. And try to have a backup plan. If you try a curriculum that you think is going to work and it doesn't work, kind of have in the back of your mind, or even on a list somewhere. I keep a list of curriculum that I'm thinking of using for my girls in the future. I have a list for both of them. So I can research at any time that something's not working. I can be like, okay, what was my next choice? And I can go to that next choice and say, okay, let's try this. Or maybe I want to design my own curriculum and kind of piece together bits and pieces of things that I think will work. You really have to be flexible and willing to do that, because I think it really does make all the difference in how much you're able to enjoy your homeschooling year with your kids and how much they're able to enjoy it. Because if you're stressed out, they're going to be stressed out. So if anything, my number one homeschooling must-have is flexibility and patience and being able to roll with the punches and giving yourself and your kids the grace that you need to make those changes if it's not working out. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. I had a really good time sitting around and thinking. I've been thinking about this video for a few weeks. What I really wanted to say, what really has made the difference for us in our homeschooling, whether it's something fun like great gel pens that you can use for school and play, or whether it's something, you know, like a book that really has helped me to guide me through homeschooling my kids. Anything like that, I was just really trying to think of what, if somebody asked me in my personal life, my homeschooling must-haves, these really are the things that I would tell them to make it easier and to make it more fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.